Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk a little bit about Xbox and what their plans are and what I think about it. And yeah, I want to start by saying that what if the next Xbox isn't really a console? Which I think at this point everybody has that, that idea. So Microsoft's upcoming system, currently known as Project Helix, could completely change what Xbox actually is, and that meaning that it's not a traditional console, but also not exactly a PC. So it's kind of weird. If Microsoft's strategy works, it could completely change the future of gaming platforms. Honestly, I don't think it will work, but I want to discuss it. So reports suggest that Project Helix is designed to run not only Xbox games but also PC titles. That means games from the wider PC ecosystem, potentially including platforms like Steam or Epic Games Store, could run directly on the hardware. If that becomes a reality, this would be a massive shift where you have one box that plays essentially everything. So consoles will not be seen just like the platform, but the PC would. Historically, consoles have always been closed ecosystems. When you buy a PlayStation, you play PlayStation games, also third-party games on that platform. When you buy a Nintendo, it happens the same. But you mostly buy these platforms because of their exclusive games. So Microsoft seems to be moving towards something very different. Instead of a locked system, the new Xbox, could be essentially functioning like a gaming PC, but in a console form factor. And that also means the price could reflect that, because PC hardware is much more expensive. Guys, when a company makes a console, they lock down that hardware, they make big deals with the hardware companies, and they get prices very, very down. And even so, sometimes if the price point is not exactly what Sony or Nintendo expect, they can even take a little bit of a loss on that hardware, because they know that they will bring a lot of people and then sell a lot of software. So with this new Helix console or computer, like some estimates suggest that the hardware could go anywhere from $900 to $1,400. That's super expensive, man. So yeah, why would Microsoft go in this direction? This is my theory. Microsoft isn't trying to win the console war anymore, so they're trying to win the platform war, which essentially is the same, okay? But with consoles, you never win the platform, because you keep on changing that platform like 7 or 8 years. You change another platform, you build another console, so you're changing the platform. And I think Xbox is trying to just eliminate that. So just think about it. The direction Xbox has been moving towards the past few years. Most Xbox games already launch on PC. Many Xbox titles are starting to appear on PlayStation. And Microsoft keeps expanding services like cloud gaming and subscription platforms. I think this suggests a bigger strategy, in my opinion. Microsoft may want to reach a future where the hardware itself doesn't matter. Everything is an Xbox. Instead of fighting Sony and Nintendo over who sells the most consoles, they want to make sure that every developer releases their games on the Microsoft ecosystem, which is not even an ecosystem, it's a PC, but they don't care about that. So, and also we have cloud gaming. That I think Microsoft may have a little bit of an edge there. So, whatever hybrid system Project Helix becomes, they can essentially incorporate every single platform there. So yeah, every game eventually releases on the same platform ecosystem. Exclusivity stops being the main competitive advantage in this case. So yeah, this is very interesting. This strategy also, may also explain recent leadership changes inside Microsoft. We all know that Phil Spencer is gone. And yeah, he's retiring, like like they're saying. He's not retiring, he's being pushed away. And now we have Sharma, like she didn't come up through traditional game development, so she knows nothing about gaming, which is really, it's odd in my opinion, because even though you may have a different strategy for the future, you still should have people that understand gaming, that were there since the beginning. Yeah, instead she built a career in technology and product leadership, including roles at companies like Meta Platforms and Instacart, and before leading to AI, which she says that she's not going to allow AI slop. We'll see that. Yeah, and that kind of background suggests Microsoft isn't just thinking about games. I think they really never truly thought about games. I think that's the real problem of Xbox. But let's continue. Like, the financial reason behind this strategy is also really, really interesting. Making AAA games is super expensive. Many major titles now cost hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. And, if Microsoft tried to compete with Sony purely through exclusive games, they would constantly need to fund enormous studios and hope each project succeeds. And yeah, they bought all those studios supposedly to fill this gap, but still, controlling a platform is a different kind of power. It's totally different. If the developers release their games on Windows and Xbox, Microsoft benefits regardless of who made the game. This is very similar to what happened in PC gaming. Windows already dominates the operating system market for gaming PCs. Like, if Xbox becomes essentially an extension of the Windows gaming ecosystem, Microsoft could control a huge portion of the industry without needing to create every blockbuster games themselves, which I think this is what Microsoft has always wanted. What Microsoft wants is to become the infrastructure of gaming. That's what I really believe they want. And coming back to the Activision Blizzard deal, the acquisition was like $70 billion, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it was one of the largest deals in the history of gaming industry. It gave Microsoft control over some of the biggest franchises. It's true, like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, Diablo. These are not just popular games; these are iconic games, and they're not just iconic games. They are within themselves. They are massive ecosystems with millions of players. Like, owning those franchises gives Microsoft something extremely valuable: a constant flow of players and content feeding their platforms. And this brings us to the live service shebang that everybody wants to get in. So yeah, we know how that's going. Like, Sony's trying, Microsoft is trying, everybody's trying to have the next Fortnite or whatever. But I wanna keep talking about the Xbox Helix and how can they compete with Sony and Nintendo. Because Sony and Nintendo are still following the traditional console strategy. Sony focuses heavily on cinematic exclusive games. Nintendo builds unique hardware and relies on iconic franchises. Microsoft, however, seems to be moving in a different direction entirely. They're focusing on a single console identity. They're building a connected gaming ecosystem. So, like they like I said, they want to own the gaming infrastructure. Like, that spans on PC, console, cloud, and like new types of hybrid hardware. Project Helix might be the first device that truly represents that vision. It's kind of weird and scary at the same time. So yeah, but like, there's a big risk with all of this. Consoles have always been simple. You buy the hardware, you buy the game, and you play. This is the beauty of playing on a gaming machine. You don't like normal people, they don't want the fuzz of graphics cards and trying to buy the next one and updating the drivers and having a better monitor with a better refresh rate. And I know those people exist, that's totally fine, but we have to understand that the majority of people just want to sit on the couch, grab a controller, and just play whatever they want to play, you know? And this is what consoles have always been good at. So the real question is whether Microsoft can build a, the question is not if Microsoft can build a hardware that is super powerful as the Project Helix seems to be. They absolutely can, but the question is whether gamers actually want a console that behaves like a PC. And I think that's the real problem here, because you cannot blur the line between PCs and consoles. You just can't, because PCs have a billion different hardware combinations. Consoles don't. When you have a console like the PlayStation 5, it's going to last like 7, 8, 9, 10 years. That hardware is locked, so developers can focus on that hardware. So yeah, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. I think it's very interesting, this hybrid, hardware console computer thing. I think it's not going to work, honestly. I think it's way too confusing, and you're gonna have to be like on PC. You gotta have a lot of launchers. You gotta be on an Epic Store and on Steam and Xbox and PlayStation. And yeah, we know Nintendo will never make a PC launcher, but I think it's way too confusing. And at the end of the day, I think the majority of people just want a box that sits close to the TV with the front end store, whatever type of thing, buy their games, play, and be done with it. So yeah, we'll see what the future reserves us. Guys, let me know down below in the comments what you think about this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.